This type of event is exactly on purpose for our Honorary Council, to bring people together. I'd like to briefly share a story with you. A few years ago, about 15 or 20 Armenian clergymen got together for dinner up north. And Judge Sam was the special guest, along with Bishop Daniel, who presided. And you know, Judge Sam has a lot in common with Armenian clergy. Something in common, they both dress in a lot of black. Robes, vehar, they have great style their way ahead. And at that dinner, Judge Sam stated, I'll never forget, he said, I can't judge without faith.
Tadavur, Samuel der Yeghiayan. Adlok Yubados, Aron Oscar Tatosyan, Sireli, Okevor Yekbarner, Nerganer, dear friends, lawyers, judges, everyone who was in attendance. Oscar, Judge Sam has more in common with clergy than you really know. It's not just the garb. As you read his book, you'll write about his intent that originally he wanted to be a clergyman. I'm honored, I'm truly honored to be here. So we are going to engage in a very ancient tradition called kinetso, which is for the introduction of a new book. So if I could invite the clergy to come up, Father Andreas, and I want to invite Father Andreas, who's going to give a brief explanation of what kinetson means. It literally means to pour wine on.
When you tell a clergy to be brief, no such thing. And it's interesting, you know you're at an Armenian event when we're honoring a judge and you have just as many lawyers and clergy speaking. So, dear judge, dear honored guests, as an ancient people, we Armenians have several traditions. However, unless you have lived overseas, grown up around a traditional family, we rarely are exposed to some of the customs that we practice. Some have been lost in time due to the genocide or just loss of practice, and they are rarely celebrated. One such custom is known as kinetson. In fact, when Oscar asked me about it, I had to do my own research to understand what this custom actually is. I'd seen it, but I didn't really know. And so as Judge Sam begins chapter 4, going to law school, he says, while I had the desire to attend law school, I didn't know where to start. I didn't know where to start with this either, because you can't just write kinetson in Google and find an answer. There's very little written about the celebration of kinetson, and it's ironic because it is a celebration of authors. Armenians love wine. We have been making it for thousands of years, and we're pretty good at making it. Wine for us, we learn from religious and secular texts and traditions, is always about celebration and blessing. Traditionally, wine was shared as a toast to longevity and health. In fact, the Holy Scriptures even speak about wine being a blessing to humanity from God for long and healthy lives. And so as we pour this wine, this blessing over these words, may these words remain for us a blessing and continue to bless you, Judge Sam. Սուրբաչինս աչեսուքս դեր, զիսովա պրկեցետ մեզի մեղավ, և գետուցեշ նորի որմուչանի ռամնակաղ դեր աստված մերկեցո և ողորնյա։
Բախվանիչ և հույսը վադացելոց Քրիստոս աստված մեր, բախյա, բախվանյա և որդյա. Bless, O Christ our God, this your most worthy servant, Judge Sam der Yeghiayan. Grant him a long, healthy, and happy life, as he continues to serve you and love you and glorify you. Und Hovanyav Surgiev Badvagan Chachivit Koyuchautian, Bergia Hereveliev Hanerevut Ishtambuin, Arjanavoria Kohutian, Paravorilis Kesantori with Sarkokuit, Ajim Yevnishti Havidianas Havidenits. Amen. Amen.
It is my great honor tonight to introduce Judge Sam Yeghiayan, although I know he doesn't need much of an introduction among this crowd. Sam, who was born in Syria, immigrated to the United States at the age of 19. And he has had, as we've heard a little bit already, and we'll hear more, he's had a remarkable career in the United States and has really impacted the lives of so many people. Sam received his degree in political science from Evangel University in Springfield, Missouri. Our Chief Judge, Rebecca Palmeyer, who couldn't be here tonight because she had to go out of town, asked me to tell a story. She has been looking for a piano for the court for a long time. And Sam put her in touch with a friend in Arizona. I don't know if you know this, Sam, but the friend in Arizona was moving and in Sam's honor has donated the baby grand piano, which will, someday when we can get it in the courthouse in Corbin.
It is in the court.
It's not up on display yet or in the, but it will be. So Sam, you will be forever remembered with the baby grand piano in the ceremonial courtroom.
I wrote my memoir first and foremost to honor my ancestors who perished in the Armenian genocide, and the first chapter is dedicated to them. I also wrote my memoir to honor my grandchildren and great-grandchildren who are not born yet, because I wanted to leave a legacy for them to know about their great-grandfather or grandfather. But I wrote it to encourage others to follow, not necessarily my footsteps, but to follow their dreams. My book is structured, when you read it, with stories about people who helped me throughout my life, and I wanted to honor them. And finally, I just want, in particular, immigrants to feel that they can be anything they like in the United States. And I hope it's an encouragement to immigrants who come from other lands.
One of the watchwords
I value the Armenian community in the United States. I think the Armenian community in the United States is the best community, better than any other place. I don't want to demean any Armenian community members, including my relatives in Lebanon or in Syria or Armenia, but Armenian community in the United States has done more for Armenians after the genocide than any singular country's Armenians, I believe.
Well, thank you, and I want to also thank Rafi and Oscar for having me. I'll have to teach remotely tomorrow and go back to Boston. But I think there's the last part of the program about to start.
Jesus sitting as a judge, the judge, and it was painted by our very own Nune, the wife of Father Andreas. We thought this would be perfect